What's up, guys? It's Chris. Happy Monday. I'm here with John. John is the operation manager at the facility we use to powder coat our wood products. We're going to do a quick run through of this and kind of show you guys the process, kind of what to expect with your powder coated top, just go from there. But right now we're standing in the southwest corner?
Yes.
Southeast corner. This is where all the MDF comes in. So right now, they're buying from Arauco, the MDF. John, can you tell them a little bit what MDF is?
Sure. MDF is medium density fiberboard. So basically it's all the sawdust that's left over at the mill is put into a slurry with some glue and some other resins. And so it's basically sawdust and glue is what it's composed of.
So it comes in here, and then what's the next step?
So it comes in here, depending on the time of year, we'll let it acclimate. So if it's winter, we want it to absorb some moisture and kind of undry out a little bit. And then when it's ready, the actual bunk of MDF heads over to the machining area, which is where it's cut on a CNC.
So guys, the one thing to talk about with MDF is, like he said, it's literally sawdust glued together. When it goes into a sander, the sander is only making it smoother. It's not filling possible little voids in the MDF, or it's not adding material. It's only taking away material.
Right.
And one of the things that can happen, and again, I already forgot it. What is it called?
Fiber pop.
Fiber pop. So when it goes through that drum sander, it actually could potentially stick up the fibers in the tops. Are you guys? Never mind. I'll ask that later. So what happens when it comes out of the sander and it's got a little bit of fiber top? That's what's going to be when you rub your hand over it. In some spots, you potentially see what it looks like an imperfection, but it's within the spec of it. Like, yes, if it's completely covered, with those issues, then no, that's not the spec. But that is part of the process of making a powder coated MDF top. Man, they're quick. We didn't have it. So, hey, Josh, we'll come over. So right now, the CNC is running a top, so it gets machined before sanded, right?
Yes.
So this is coming over. So this is what it looks like when it's done. It hasn't been sanded, it's still a little rough. And then, so do you guys actually go this way? So you guys come here to go back?
The flow is actually around this way, so from machining over to hand sanding, and then to our big drum sander, and then right to the paint line.
Got it. Okay, so sanding over there, and then let's jump over here before we lose our opportunity. So for the top to be powder coated, it actually has to get hung. So on any powder coated top that comes out of this facility, it gets hung. And where it gets hung, you don't get full coverage of the powder coat. This is on every single product that they put out. The only time it's not is if it's a smaller part and they use a little hook. But then if they use a hook, you got one?
I don't.
Oh, no worries. But then if they use a hook, then you have a thing. So, yeah. But even this still has.
Yep.
So
yep. It's part of the powder coating process. So whether you're powder coating wood or metal or anything, it's called the Faraday Effect.
So this though is probably the bottom, like it's going to be against something.
Yep.
Okay, so that's why it's not hung this way. It's on the bottom. Okay, makes sense. So again, it doesn't matter the color. Oh. You're gonna get that. So we're gonna check out this color. I mean, it's literally, guys, it's gonna be in every top. This is the B side of a top. It's not the working side. Well, it's actually considered the working side, it's not the A side, the finish side, and that's the side that matters. So that's why we don't hang it on the finish side. We'll pop over. So these are a little bit bigger tops, so they have bigger hanging holes because they're heavier, they're thicker. We use 3/4 inch. This looks like an inch, but same thing, guys. All right. And this is another reason, all of our products being made in Michigan. What's so nice about this is, when an issue is brought up, not only can we directly communicate with our manufacturer, but we can jump in the car and 10 minutes later be at our manufacturer to talk about actual issues. Finished product. So after it goes through, you go through, make quality checks, all that jazz.
Yep, quality, then it'll come right over here to package.
Got it. So we actually have some of our tops that were packaged, I don't know, not too long ago. And what we're going to do is we're going to pop one of these guys open, because one issue that was brought up was that there's actually marring on the packaging. And I guess what we want to show is, the poly bags are right over here. It goes through the process of getting packed, taped. And this is a fresh top that has had, no movement. It hasn't come to us. It hasn't gone in a FedEx truck, and it's got no reason to have any defects or anything. But what you will notice is little scratches or little marks in the poly bag, which, the poly bag's just sitting on a roll. It's not. The poly bag's job is meant to cover the work surface. It's not meant to be perfect. And so, back to that fiber pop and whatnot. Right now, you can see it. I don't currently see any. You could say that's a little void. You could point out any. Nope. There's a little bit of a sharp point there. But I guess what I wanted to say is when you get this top and you see these marks, what's happening is when the cardboard is on top of it and it's riding in the FedEx truck going like this, the fiber pop and any of those voids or anything like that are marring and making little marks onto the poly bag. The poly bag is not making marks onto the top. And again, we're not shipping you a poly bag to use. We're shipping you a top to use. So I made a comment about, I need to clarify this, I made a comment about, car dealers, and they call it the Baggy Test. And what they do is when you buy a car, while you're going through financing and all this thing, do you want this, do you want this? They typically have a car out front in the dealership which has a coating on half the hood and a coating on, or the coating on not the other half. And they tell you to put your hand in a poly glove or a Ziploc baggie, and the poly heightens your sense of touch and it amplifies any imperfections in the paint. So, my comment along that lines was just going with the fact that the poly is finding those little pops and it's actually getting marked. Not that there's any dealer trickery or anything like that. It was obviously on my part not the best explained, but I think if you guys just do a YouTube of the car baggy trick or whatever paint trick, you'll understand a little bit more of what I'm saying. Let's lift this guy up. There you go. Josh, if you just, again, here it is. It's not fully painted. This is where it's hung. This top, guys, you're gonna notice there's more inserts than in our Detroit desktop. The reason is after we did our first run of Detroit desktop and we decided to launch our Lansing top, we opted to put inserts in all of them. So this top works with our Detroit or our Lansing top. Some people that originally bought our Detroit desk, it just has the one specifically, for that. But other than this, it's the exact same powder coat. We actually have a spec from probably over a year ago when we were bidding on a large contract with a large furniture seller using the same exact material, where we had the the spec sheets and all that, and we show that hanging hole on there. So I'll probably link that below. We didn't ultimately end up getting that full contract because they opted to work with overseas suppliers and keep it in Asia. But it is what it is. But again, guys, like, the perks of working with us is we're local. Everything is literally done within an hour or two drive or anything like that. We are incredibly quick on fixing issues, solving issues, working through issues. But at the end of the day, if you're not going to trust Desk House, if you're not going to trust me, and if you think we're like trying to pull one over on you guys, that's simply not the case. Hopefully, seeing everything you see here kind of explains things a little bit better. We work really hard. We do customer service on Saturday, Sunday. Everything that we do is within our spec. If it's not within our spec, we replaced it just like we did in, that issue we had. However, we have no obligation to explain and show you guys all this process. I mean, respectfully to us and, the manufacturer, they work with, other companies out there too that value the privacy and, it's kind of the OEM role to not be known. They don't need to do that. So we're under no obligation, and nor is our manufacturer to show any of this to you. But what we are under obligation is telling you if that top is within performance spec of what it is. And when it's not, we replace that, and when it is, we don't. And if you're not happy or satisfied with that, there's a reason we do a full refund. But if you opt not to do that, then it seems like you're satisfied with your top. So on that note, guys, have a great week. I'll see you.